Hello, hello, hello. Oh, my phone is blowing up now. Figures. I'm like, oh, it's the thing. Okay. My order is confirmed. Here we go. All right. Yeah, Melissa's getting she's getting into hoodies, I guess. We've reached that stage now where she's like into hoodies. So um yeah. So she's like, I'll take a hoodie. I was like, all right, wife wants a hoodie, we gotta get wife a hoodie. But yeah, so we're good. So sorry about that, guys. I looked down. I was like, oh god, it's 2 minutes late. Anyway, so obviously non-farm payroll. Okay. Um, yeah, everything was kind of crazy this morning. Dollar CAD should be up like 70 right now, and it's only up 32 in 24 hours. So yeah, CAD's news definitely not great. If you guys attended the Nadex session, my kind of thought on this one is I'm wondering if they're basically just a month behind. Remember last month everything was supposed to be good, but it was not good for the U.S. data, and I'm wondering if CAD will have that big explosion next month, like we saw. And then obviously the US data, funny enough, I mean, I guess it's not funny, but coincidentally enough, if you had taken the projections last time, the forecast, and then basically done the same thing that drops now, it's exactly where it was supposed to be. It's kind of interesting how that turns out. Yet last month it could raise, and then this month makes up like double, right? But if you look at the forecast versus the actual, or versus the previous, what they had expected to happen, it did happen, right? But it seems like they lumped it back on there. It's like, wait, we screwed up. It's supposed to be down here, and let's just do it. So, yeah, it kind of brings into question the validity of some of these things. It's like, huh. Anyway, data was good. Average earnings going up again was also great. It's good to see that. Like I said, it's not outpacing inflation, but technically that inflation is not real. So, in the grand scheme of things, every month that we get another reading of the average hourly earnings going higher and higher and higher and higher is awesome. Because if this doesn't, I mean, because people suddenly just don't get pay cuts, right? You know, when inflation goes down. Right, we'll see that. So we should be good there. But the employment numbers are good. Came in higher than expected, as well as an adjustment prior to that. So, the recipe's here for a feel good Friday. We'll see. I mean, as long as there's like not a Delta plus 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 variant. I think we're on just Delta plus right now. I think it's just one. I was joking around yesterday with Melissa. I was like, next is going to be Delta Supreme. She's like, you need to stop driving past Taco Bell. She's like, there will not be a Delta Supreme. That's only Taco Bell. Um, but yeah, so you know, unemployment rate is great. I'm still struggling with the we have a long way to go because I don't know. I'm not sure what they expect. How low they expect this unemployment rate to go. I mean, obviously it can't go to zero, but yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those like, yeah, we got a long way to go, and all these gains we see, it's all going to go back. I mean, we're gonna shut everything back down again, and maybe not for another 2 years. We're not going to do anything for 2 years. It's like, huh? I mean, markets at all time highs. Unemployment rate is crashing through the floor. We're hiring a million people back a month. Earnings are going higher. I don't know. I mean, how many months do they expect us to do this? Like, are we going for like a 3% unemployment rate or what? Um, Delta Supreme, right? Next is Southwest. Final one will be Spirit. What? Oh, Delta. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, we have the Cat Ivy. It's going to probably do nothing today. But in the grand scheme of things, if you take a step back and just look at kind of where everything is right now, I mean, look at these 24-hour pip changes, right? The pound dollar is down four, four, right? And it's not like it's just because the pound is super strong. Because euro pound, it's getting smacked, right? Well, I mean, 38%. 38 is good. 63, 65 is okay, right? So I mean, this is kind of the strong, but something as big as non-farm. I mean, yeah, this should be much, much higher. So, but I mean, 3 pips here. I mean, dollar yen 49. I mean, dollar Swiss 43, and that's fine. And again, you're seeing it starting to retrace a little bit. But dollar CAD, I mean, this should be up 60 easy, and it's not. Aussie dollar minus 16. I mean, what is that for a number this big? It just goes to show you that the Fed's inability to kind of make any concrete decisions and lack of any true direction right now is really kind of throwing the market for a loop right now. And again, it is August. August tends to be, a little bit lower. If this was September, I assume we'd have a bit more. But yeah, it's kind of just the Delta wing variant only affects airline passengers. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly, Ross. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Todd and I were getting into it today. He's like, yeah, he's like, this and this and this. And he's like, did you see it's mandatory? I'm like, Todd, I really don't think they can make it mandatory. He's like, schools do. I was like, no, schools don't. Schools have that religious, exemption. Like, it's not mandated when there's a religious, exemption to it, you know? Um, and again, I feel like it's one of these things. Like if you're a believer or not a believer, like I'm vaccinated, but I don't feel like it's safe yet, or I don't have enough data to credibly give it to my kids yet. I've known many kids that have gotten COVID already, and they were like barely even had it. They're like, do I have to stay at home? And they were bored, like, and they're totally. I mean, there's no, they've had no lasting effects from nothing. So, you know. The risk that I don't know is, you see the things with the enlarged hearts, the blood clots, all this other stuff. I'm like, I've seen bad stuff. I understand that kids are dying, but that's just my personal opinion. High risk populations, sure, I get it, but at the end of the day, we're also seeing those high risk populations get it still. So it's not like the flu, where I mean, I guess it is like the flu because I mean, you see people get the flu that have it, but um, yeah, I mean, I think everybody needs to make their own decision. But Todd's like, no, everybody should just get it. I was like, hey, Todd, Darwin had something to say, right? If you don't believe that it's necessary and you don't want to get it, you're accepting that risk, which is totally fine, right? I mean, you can't say that we're in a free country if you're not going to make us free, right? I mean, if we want to switch over to communism and then you can mandate everybody that does it, then that's different. But that's not, what we are here. Um, and he's like, no, he's like, this should be like, if you have AIDS, it's like, it's illegal for you to, go out there and be with someone and not tell them about it because you could pat. I'm like, yeah, but that was because that was a death sentence. You know, if you get COVID, right, it's not necessarily a death sentence. It has a rather low, mortality rate, right? So it's a little bit different. I mean, it used to be at one point, if you had AIDS, then yes, you were pretty much, you were smoked, right? Now it's not necessarily as bad of a thing. You can live forever with it. But originally, no, if you got it, it was a death sentence, right? COVID is not like that. I know a lot of people that have had it. And, they're good. I do know people that have passed away from it, obviously, as well. And for some populations, it's extremely dangerous. But at the same time, I mean, those same patient populations, the flu is extremely dangerous. There are many things out there that are extremely dangerous for them, right? And at the same time, look at how many people die of like things like cancer, guys, right? Right? I mean, how much money is being put towards cancer research when we could have, if all the same resources went toward cancer, could we have cured cancer? But yet, cigarettes are legal, and we know that they are a direct, factor with lung cancer. Yeah. So it's kind of like you got to pick your battles, I guess. But anyway, Saturday we have no news. Sunday we have no news. Monday morning we have a little bit of the the JOLTS data, which actually has come up more. It's starting to creep up there. I would say JOLTS is in the top 10, but I will say that it used to be nothing. It was like a gray and then a yellow. I would say that it's actually something that people are starting to mention more, but it is at 10 o'clock on Monday, so we'll have some time to kind of react and go from there. So, um, it's a Friday. Typically, again, a non-farm Friday. The movement right now with something as big and as powerful as the numbers we got and as clean as we got, definitely are not justifying what the news is. So we'll see. With up in news on dollar CAD, it should definitely be 100 pips, Ernest. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it should be. I mean, if you take a look, and again, we'll break it down, but like, you look at dollar CAD and go up to the daily and pull the ATR on it. You know, ATR is 84, so it should be up about 120 right now, 120 to 130 pips right now. And again, you can see the whips back and forth. It's not. So yeah, it's kind of all over the place. Again, it's summer trading, right? Anyway, here's Aussie dollar. Let's start with the Aussie dollar. We had that quick drop, a little bit of a pullback, and it actually went about half of the way back up again, and then now it's pushing lower. And again, not surprised at pushing lower. The retail trader is now finally getting in there, like, yep, it's 9:30, it's time to start the day. That kind of mindset that 24 hours doesn't really exist. But when we look back, I mean, you can see what's happening down here in this level. I mean, this was the last time we stopped a big push to the downside. That's where it turned, the 73.70. A little bit lower than that, you can see the 73.60. There's a bunch of stuff over here, right? Right? Buyers have stepped in, and again, we had this slow grind up and boom and boom and boom and boom and boom. So we're getting to a level. I mean, we only got about 15 more pips. It's going to have to start pushing through those buyers. Those buyers exist still because, again, these are higher, 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 and higher. Question is it due for a retracement, and do we have enough time to trade it today? Now, question I typically look at when I'm looking at chart is it clean? Right? Like, is this a clean level? I mean, where could I draw this from? Well, I could say, there's a level of basing right there. Let's change this to yellow because I don't want you guys to be like, wait, it's orange. You could say there's a level, right? And it's higher, 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 and higher. There was some basing in there, and again, it was tested. That level is coming in right around. Whoops, let's change that off. There's not a knockout there. Whoops, let's go here to there. 73.56. So we got about 20 pips to the downside on that one. Curious to see whether or not, I mean, again, it is right now 9:47. If this drops another 20 pips or so in the next 30 minutes, we're right around that 10:30 reversal time. Is this a level for a reversal today? Right? I mean, I guess we could go straight down. And like I said, the data today justifies a strong dollar. Absolutely, without a doubt. Look in the books. Again, numbers this big means that the economy is heating up. And again, we already know it's hot. Typically, the response from the Fed is, okay, we're going to have to look at adjusting this so we don't overcook for too long, right? Because nobody likes a hard-boiled egg that's been cooked too long, right? Nobody, right? There is you cannot order. I want a hard-boiled egg extra cooked, right? I mean, there's like sunny side up, and my dad used to like the ones I forget what they're called. It's Ernest, you know this. What is it called when you make a hard-boiled egg, but it's not? It's like a soft-boiled egg. My dad used to like the soft-boiled eggs, right? Where like the white is the clear part is white, but the yolk is still like not 100% liquid, but like chunky, right? But definitely liquid. My dad used to eat it on toast all the time. Soft-boiled egg, right? So again, this could be a decent trade setup. It should have enough room to run. Oops, nope, not that way. It would be a long position, not a short position. The system knows that I'm more of a bear than a bull. That's the funny part. 3 would be right there. And if you look at that trade, if that comes down and starts to base off that level and goes back up again, is that a decent level for a profit target? And the answer is yeah, right? Yeah, I mean, we know that the last time that sellers really kind of helped smash this down, we're up here at 73.87. This is down here at 73.78. So it gives us a 10 pip buffer if we can come down and base off of that. And is it a level? Yeah. Is it the best levels? No, I mean, it's been hit a few times, but it's decent. It's kind of after a big push down, we're looking for a retracement, and that's where levels have stepped in. Next real clean level we have, again, is much, much lower, all the way down here at 73.16. So, quite a room to run. And again, there's probably a small level here as well. I don't like it as much. It's not as clean. And again, that would require us to come all the way down like another 34 pips and then be able to run up today. I just don't think that's happening. Will I look at this level for a Sunday note open? Yeah, probably. Right. But I will say the 73.15 is a level that I like much, much better, right? So 73.56, 73.15, I think are both decent. They're both good. I'd be cool with either of those two, especially with the 10:30 kind of reversal on that one. All right. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen's doing the exact opposite. You can see we kind of missed that 81.42 level. We can bring this across, and interesting enough, look at this. It came back down, and it used that same level of basing, from this morning. Right there is your European Open, right there at 3 o'clock. Right there. Right. Um, there was this launching point, and now it's pulling back again already. So again, you would look at this and say, well, wait a second. I mean, this spiked, right? Gold is getting hammered, right? I mean, gold is down 2.24%, right? And again, what are you saying? The Aussie dropped down again. So it drove it up, 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 up. News actually came out here and spiked it, and then now is already starting to pull back again. So we're returning to the origin of the move. Now, could we trade this one for somewhat of a Harry Potter through? Yeah, probably, but I don't know if we'll have enough time today to do it. And again, Friday, one of the things I'm always worried about, because again, you guys know I do not hold over the weekend. I don't believe in holding over the weekend. The people that do, great. You're taking risk for no reason. You could always close your position down and then reopen it back on Sunday. And again, 9 times out of 10, you're probably fine to hold over the weekend. But that one time that Russia decides to go over a border, or North Korea shoots a missile, or China does something, whatever, right? Those are the weekends where this thing goes 100, and it always happens on the weekend, right? That they do this stuff. They don't do it on Thursdays. They do it on Saturdays, right? That's the time where, and again, remember, if you have some type of a stop loss, it doesn't matter when the market is closed because there's no way to initiate an order. If price gaps all the way past, you're taking that loss, right? So there's no way to control it. And again, I don't like that uncontrolled risk. But again, could this happen again? Yeah. And again, what it would be, it would be a break of 8102, and I'd be looking for it to come back down, most likely into the range down here. And again, there's another Harry Potter set lower, but 8060 is probably would be. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm not going to say 8060. I'm going to say, well, there's that too. Hmm. Probably put a line there. Um, actually, kind of want to put it higher. I actually do like this a little bit higher as far as the target. But if we break through 8102, I think again we'll come back down and we'll test this 8066 level. Okay. Euro pound. So euro pound is dropping. Look at this. We had a level here at 84.91, and again, this was. It's been a long time. Been a long time. I know it wasn't the freshest of levels, but we hit here. Right there's one. There's two. There's three. And there was your four. So, yeah, it was a level. Buyers stepped in, but eventually the buyers got eaten through. But one touches, two touches, three touches, and then that's what broke us. Actually, I guess you would count one, two, three, and then this was number four where it hit. But every time it fought back again before finally collapsing. So, at this point, you got to go up to a little bit higher of a time frame. We'll go to 4 hour and look at it here and see what we got. Yeah, the problem is this. This is exactly what it ran into. Hearts on a line. There was the last bottom, and you can see that's exactly what it ran into. I really don't like much clean until lower. Let's see how far are we? Let's see. It's only 27 pips, so it's not like it's a crazy amount. So what I'd be looking for right now, let's drop this back down to a 30-minute. Right. I would say this is kind of where we are more set up for next week. So I'm going to leave this as a yellow because again, you can see if we can get a pullback, that could be another entry. Let's take this and let's mark this bottom zone. This is a higher time frame zone. I'm going to throw a long on here just so we can see it for the weekend, just so it kind of stands out and like smacks us in the face. It's so funny. Look at this. You're like, oh my God, that's a huge area. That's the 1 to 3 based off of that level. So you can see like really how little movement we really kind of had in this one. I mean, from like noon yesterday, actually, I guess from 9 o'clock yesterday, we're only 17 pips different from yesterday. So although it's cruising through, this is not really a whole lot of space. I think right now, wait till this thing comes down to actually I'll just swap these two. I would say those would be the two levels to watch out for. Okay. And again, all this is just pound strength, and we've been talking about this. Pound strength, pound strength, pound strength. Not a whole lot of pound news, and then we continue to see it continue to drop. But right now, I would say, yeah, if we can push through this 84.71, that's a level where buyers have stepped in. Look for it to punch one higher. All right, let's go down to euro yen. So euro yen kind of chopping back and forth. Like we had that one short here, and again, you can see it based in there. We weren't really going to focus on it. The next level up top, and again, I'm going to drag. Actually, you know what? Let's keep this one. I'll leave that one there, but we're not going to do anything with that one. I'm going to say the next short is going to be probably up here in this level. Okay. This is going to be up top. 30. Got this bottom section down here. Funny enough, look at that. It's exactly where it based through. We're going to remove that to clean it up a little bit. We are going to put that there. Actually, that's not bad. Take this and drop this here. Oops, that's not exactly right. Here we go. Yeah, so break of 129.54 to the downside. I think the level up here is decent. I mean, it's okay. The green is actually the high on this one. I like when the red is the high, not the green. That little red is kind of a little hiccup right there. Not one. If there's one more candle back, I'd be in love with it. But it's all right. So 130.05. I'd say 130.44, 130.05, and then 129.54 are all short potential short. Excuse me, entries. And again, I don't really have a long in here until 128.74. So, some decent levels of basing. It's not bad, right? Not bad. And oh, it's actually there. I guess the retracement, but um, yeah, it's funny. I swear I blew that back up again. Somehow it saved it again. Huh? Yeah. Oop, nope. Don't want to do that. All right. So those are the three levels for shorts. Euro dollar. So Euro dollar came down, and again, we were talking about this level. It was pushed pretty deep, and again, you can see that 1, 2, 3. This is hit number 4. Didn't expect it to hold. Expected it to go through, and the next level of buyers is really down here. But again, 1, 2, and 3. So this was kind of a level that we were watching for, but again, could have offered a potential turn. Now it's already starting to rally back up again. This is another one of those ones that it's been pushed down so much, right? When we go back, the European session started here, right? 3 o'clock candle is right there. And you can say, well, wait a second, look at this. This is nothing but dollar strength since that time. And then, yeah, it was kind of expected that there was going to be dollar strength in there. So we are kind of at the stage now where it is more reversal based. This is about 60 pips to the downside. So a decent runner. It hit a zone. It cut through the zone. It did provide a little bit of buyers in there, which again, it can. I mean, again, there's no rule that says, hey, fourth hit, it has to break. Sometimes it's five, right? But it, you know, typically when it's at that number 4, number 5, it's not an area we're going long from. And if you did go long, you did use it, you would have got stopped out. It came through like what, 3 pips, 4 pips on the other side. So you do kind of have to be a bit careful. I think the 117.60 is a level that we can watch out for, particularly because again, when I'm looking at weekends, I'm looking for zones that have been old levels in the past. If we gap down and we open in that level, or if we close in that level, that could be a sign that we want to go long on Sunday night. So it's kind of set up, kind of an interesting way. And then again, we have an extreme level down here at 117.11. I think both are decent levels. Like I said, I like this one. Again, it's hollow, so that was more of we're kind of looking for that one to go short. But remember, we do have this little zone right here. And again, I'll turn this one orange. It's just kind of a warning level, right? um, you know, let's see, let me go back and make sure. Yeah, it's this. So I'm hesitant on the short because here's the level. And again, it's hit once, hit twice, and rallied. So again, it is an area where there are buyers. Okay, so they've definitely stopped this and provided it. So the orange level is one that we do want to watch out for. Okay, so I do think that we will break and fail through the 1760. Could be taking a and really, I mean, I'll do it this way. Either of these three are options to go long on Sunday night. Okay, um, depending on where it opens. I mean, the 117.39, if we can, let's see, how many is that? Let's see, is that going to be a standard gap? That's 35. Let's see, if we can maintain the negativity the rest of today, well, I mean, I guess it's dollar positive, but the euro weakness the rest of today, we may have to chop through this level. But if we can end, let's see, this is 6, 8. If we can open here, we can open there. That's a decent long, right? Because again, that was a big takeoff point in the past. I like opening there with low volume. That would be a pretty interesting trade setup. That may be one that we I definitely have to watch on Sunday. Something along those lines. Okay, so watch that level, the 117.39. That's an interesting level because again, the way that it hit in the past, I like it a lot for an open on Sunday. Yeah, keep your eye on that one. Pound yen. All right, so pound yen, you can see it's up there right now. We talked about 135.05 being a level. It kind of got close before and got front run and then really started the base before, right? A little bit of a pullback. Again, non-farm set it up and now it's having issues. These are two levels we talked about getting short from. European market only has, 2 hours ago. It's decent. The problem is with this, and again, if we refine this level a little bit, actually, there'd be the better hit of it. It's going to be hard to get a 1 to 3 in on this one before we get to the opposing zone. Right, put it there. As you can see, the 1 to 3 would go right there. that's below where the buyers are. So I would say it's a little bit risky. Could you take it? I mean, with a Nadex product, yeah, it's probably fine to take it with a Nadex product where we don't have to worry about it as much. But just be very cognizant that, again, that one closes earlier. That one is not a 4 o'clock close. So you got to kind of be careful of it. Um, it's decent. I don't know. Like I said, it's pound has been quite strong today. But again, as that market starts to close down, people will be selling their positions for the week. So there'll be a little bit more selling pressure in the pound. So again, don't be surprised if that one comes back down and we close about what is it, like 50 pips lower, right? 152.60 is about 50 pips down from where we are right now. Okay. And we're sitting at that level. Um, All right, pound dollar. So pound dollar, obviously straight down, right? Again, this was it was already starting to happen this morning. Again, you can see we took that turn yesterday from it. This is an area down here. It's kind of the same thing. I keep mentioning reversal, and it's lining up on a multiple different pieces. There, again, we had some buyers coming in here. They went a little bit lower here below this zone. We know that this is just this entire area. I'd say probably from here down. Again, this is not an official zone, but we've had buyers stabilized here. We hit, and this has been hit 3 times now. The 3870 is definitely an area where we've seen buyers step in the past. There is not a clean level here, right? Could it roll off of this? Yeah. Yeah, it could. I mean, we know buyers are down to like this level right here. But looking at the actual candles, like here's why we can't really draw a zone with it, because we had this new spike all the way down and up, and then kind of came high and then pulled down again. So very hard to pull any type of zone in there. The next clean level is going to be really down here at this 138 level, right? We could extend this across here. This was a profit taking for shorts, right? And again, we were looking for some type of a break. And again, these two came to the bottom. So we should be able to, if we can break through that level, it should be a clear rundown of 138.17. That could be something we see this weekend. But I do expect, again, as we get close to that 10:30 and the close of the market, I would expect there to be some pressure in this one as well. Um, Again, some profit taking in. Now, I mean, God forbid, I mean, maybe it's already happened. Um, no, we don't have it. I was like waiting to see, like if we got like a big, if Powell made a comment or if somebody from the Fed makes a comment about how great these earnings are, and I do believe we are going to hear a comment. I don't know who's going to say it, but I feel like we're going to get a comment from somebody today. I feel like there's no way we could go through the entire day without a comment. That should give us a boost, right? That should give us some volatility, right? Like think about it. If you want that job, today's the day. Like I told you so. I told you we're recovered. Look at the jobs growth, right? That definitely goes more onto the dollar strength. So that may be the catalyst we need to drive down to 138.17. But then again, I mean, think about what we're going into over the weekend. I mean, I'm kind of, if we can push all the way down to 138.17, I think that's a decent move for today. But I think we look for this to reverse next week on at least Sunday night. Why? Florida's breaking records. I heard Louisiana now has the most cases. Um, you know, Arkansas is like, hey, get vaccinated, guys, right? I feel like it'll be, God forbid we have, 5 days without breaking some type of COVID record, right? I feel like that's all they'll talk about, I guess, as we mask more things. And I know, at least for my kids, I got the email yesterday, day before, that they are officially having to go masks. And again, officially, it's the dumbest thing ever because um, here's a new level of stupidity. And you guys, please correct me if I'm wrong on this one. I'm all for, you guys know I love debate. So the boys have to wear masks again, right? For all their education activities. And then they gave us a list of times they don't have to wear masks. So during PE, when you're breathing heavy, you don't need to wear a mask. Okay, indoors or outdoors. When you're eating lunch, obviously that makes sense. It's hard to feed your mouth when you have a mask over it. I get that one. And I thought that kind of invalidated most of what was happening. Chorus and band, no masks, right? So think about it. The reason we wore masks, the reason we were told to wear masks was because, like, you don't want to cough and, when you yell and things like that, those are spreading events, right? Right? But if you're in band and you are blowing in a flute or a trumpet or a saxophone, aren't you just blowing all the germs out in like it's like, I mean, you're blowing it out, right? Sound waves travel the same way, right? Am I wrong? I read this and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So what you're telling me is if my kid's in band, he's gonna be in the super environment, right, of germs. I'm like, "Well, my kid's not doing that stuff." Not that my boys are into it. They did it for half a year and they were like, "Eh." But I was like, "Right?" I mean, like, think about it. Most of the instruments in band, except I'm sorry, drummers. They're gonna make drummers wear the masks, right? Drummers have to wear masks, they said. But all the other instruments, no, no masks. Because obviously you can't blow through it. I mean, you can't produce music. Obviously, like when you have any of the reeded instruments, right? But like talk about like the epicenter of Ebola, right? In a school, it's going to be the music room. It's going to be the music room. So I was like, okay, guys, like I get it. I'm all for keeping the kids safe. And again, if they want to provide an at-home thing where they can dial in, I don't think there's any. And again, I was in the schools in the spring, guys. You guys know, I was in gins, and then obviously, I was in the boys as well. Um, because I would always fill in when they needed help there. I know the systems they're using. If a teacher has to turn a camera on and teach remotely, there's no difference for a kid that a parent's really, really upset about it. Totally fine, right? But they still have to be engaged, and if they don't, they should get in trouble, right? But yeah. Um, let's see. That wearing masks has been proven effective by science. No, it's not, right? No, I mean the mask thing. It's been proven that the masks don't keep you from getting it. It's more of just a thing. It's more of a reminder not to touch your face. Is what it was for. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that type of news is what I think will drive this down and give us some dollar weakness. Because again, remember everything's got to be fair balance. So I think 138.17 to be a decent buy, especially if we can get a base in here. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD. I mean, dollar CAD had. I mean, not for nothing. Dollar CAD did have a 45 pip jump, but if the U.S. news came in exactly as expected, and we had that Canadian data, it would have jumped 45 pips. Right? If the Canadian data came in as exactly as expected, and we had just the U.S. data, it should have jumped at least 45 pips. The fact that we had the bad CAD data and we had the amazing US data, this thing should have jumped all the way up and it should have grabbed the 126.03 level. Okay. All it did was it came back up, it made its quick burst, and it ran into this kind of chop back and forth here. And that's it. And that was it. Actually, I don't need this one anymore. We're out of the base level now. So we finally broken in and we are clear. So with that said, where we are right now, I mean, we're kind of dealing with this level. Whoops, not that. We're kind of dealing with all this group of sellers here. Now, is there a clear sellers here? No, but we have, you could draw this and say there's low. Whoops. You could say that there's lows and there's another low and there's another low, which means, again, we have the consecutive lows. That means there are sellers in that area. And that's where we're hitting right now. And we are 20 minutes before the reversal time frame, right? All the bulls right now are like, all right, time to take profit, right? So yeah. I mean, I would have to say, does this one roll and turn and come back down? I would have to look at it and say probably. And the question is there going to be enough volume in the dollar CAD the rest of today to really justify getting into this one and taking that risk? And the answer is I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, at this point, I would probably move this and adjust this and say, like, this would be an area, right, that we want to watch out for. I don't know if it's tradable right now, but that would be an area we'd look for maybe for a Sunday. It was decent. This is, it's not bad, right? And we got a level here. So yeah. Actually, let's see. Let me drop this down to 15. Let's see if we can get a decent. No, we really even can't there. Let me pull indicator. Yeah, the indicator has nothing until all the way top. Indicators. So the indicator, I like the indicator because it does pull some calculations that are harder to do, right? Just visually, it pulls them on a mathematical basis, and that's why I always like to double check with the indicator. Um, but the indicator is like, no, I want nothing to this. There's nothing in here. It's saying we got nothing till up top. So it does like this as well, though. So I would say really for the dollar CAD, we're sitting smack in the middle. 126.05 is a sell. 124.84 is a potential long. And then again, we have this level here that we're looking for a base of a Harry Potter that is definitely set up for next week as well. So yeah, dollar CAD is not too much. Dollar Swiss. Now dollar Swiss is a nice. Look at this. So we talked about this level here, right? We hit it, we came back. We hit it again, we base, and we drop down again. We hit it again, we drop below it again. So it is far, and actually look, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then really the 5 is where it stabilized to go through. This level was like the champion level, right? This dollar Swiss level. I mean, this thing, it was a previously violated zone. It showed us that it was an area of interest because, again, it maintained its base. And it went from being a bottom to, again, a top 1, 2, 3, 4, and really you could say 5 times because it did push it back. 5 times that zone held, being a previously violated zone. Gotta love that, right? That, I mean, Go dollar Swiss, right? Now, where we are, again, this is where we had sellers really help, but the way that this spiked, there's not a clean level until a bit higher. So, as far as setting up the dollar Swiss, I'm absolutely all about a retracement on this one. Question is, though, is it coming in over the weekend? Again, we're kind of holding right now. Let's see, how much do we need to pull back? It is a 40 pip drop back to the downside. So, oh, that one's hard. We would need a big swing on that. Let's pull all these across because I'm carrying these for next week. Dollar Swiss. Let's see. No, it's not pulling anything. It's not. It's yeah. It's going to be up here. Actually, let's adjust this a little bit. We're going to pull this just a bit higher to get it in closer proximity, and we'll talk about a potential short coming in there. Problem with that is it needs to go another 37 pips. We've already gone up a bunch, so that would be a 76 pips in one day. Daily ATR is only 52, right? Uh, this is going to be a case of the Fridays, but watch this for Sunday night. If we can get, let's see, August 8th, right there. If we can get there, take that puppy short. Right there. I think that one is not horrible either. And that's a Sunday night. And again, that's if we don't turn and roll now. We got to kind of help stabilize and maintain. Problem is, it's got 40 pips down, but I mean, here's your analysis. This is where you're playing the turn. I mean, we obviously know that there are sellers that are stepping into the market right there, right? We know that's where they're stepping in. Again, there was that little punch up in base and then, dropped. And that's exactly what we're running into right now. But then there's the issue of civil liberties. Oh, God. Which doesn't result in anything much except people fighting with each other. Wait, hold on. Now you got like real talk here. They keep saying it is though. Everyone has some kind of idea of what to do. Even basement boys are scientists these days. Science doesn't matter, Ernest. Science doesn't matter because the same people that will say that science shows this, as soon as it's a hot topic that doesn't match their narrative, then they magically forget science. Yeah. Don't get me started on that soapbox. Yeah, science only matters when it supports your narrative. And as soon as you cross the aisle, the science is different. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So don't listen to science. And on top of that, we have, million-year-old ice worms that are now thawing out. So I love it how climate change, right? It's one of those things that it's happened throughout, the world, but magically now we've had more climate change in 2 years, right? Yeah. All the climate changes, it's it's one of those things where we're making it change. I love the I like the people too. They're like, oh, all these U.S. cities are going to be below water. It's like I was like, put it this way. I'm like, you can say that the ocean's going to raise like like an inch, right? Or like it goes up like an inch like every whatever it is. I'm like 600 feet above sea level, right? I feel like I don't know. I mean, if sea level raises 600 feet, right, in my time frame or in my time, my timeline, um, I feel like we have other problems. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's like one of those like I don't know. 600 feet is a lot, guys. If it goes up that high, um, yeah, I feel like there'll be continents disappearing, right? Um, I don't know. There'll be no Hawaii. I think Hawaii is, all Hawaii would be gone. Um, yeah, I like the mountains. So, dollar yen. So, look at that. Dollar yen. It took a bounce. 1, 2, 3 is where it bounced, and 4 blew through it. Now, this one has been a decent runner. I mean, it looks like it's huge. It's about 48 pips, which is better than expected. It should be higher, right? We do have a level up here, and again, it's running into sellers that are right here and sellers right here. This is not a clean level, but again, I'll do this. But you say, look, here's where this last little peak was. We knew there were sellers in there. That's exactly what we're running into, and we're starting to slow down. 1030 a reversal would make sense here, although I expect this one to grind a bit higher. But if we look to the left, you can see that the next area where sellers stepped in is just a bit above, right? It is about 7 pips higher, 8 pips higher. So, it's got a few levels. I think the next real decent one, though, is the 110.52. Look for this one to kind of roll, right? There's no such thing as guarantees, Ernest. Yeah, there's no guarantees in life. Like I said, you have that, that one guy that's a super vegan, right? Riding his bicycle and get hit by the truck, but at the same time, that guy should have lived forever, but got hit by a truck. But at the same time, you have, like the George Burns that drinks whiskey and cigars until like 96 years old, whatever, and then passes away, right? Guy never exercises. He's like, I don't exercise. I've never done any of these things. He's like, my regimen is, whiskey and cigars, and that's what got me to 96, right? But then the 34-year-old vegan that rides his bike every day gets hit by a truck, right? There's no guarantees. So, anyway, yeah. So I mean, this is what we got. 110.91. I do like that level up top again. Probably a small rollover point. And let's see, can we make it up here before the roll? It's another 25 pips to get up at that level. That could also be a Sunday night gap area. If we gap up into that 110.52, we could hit it, right? Um, eh, I would say profit targets for anything down. We can remove this one now because again, it's been hit 3 times and didn't, 4 broke, didn't base. But let's pull this. Let's pull. Talk about. I do like the fact that it is a racetrack, so I am looking for a retracement to the downside. There we go. Okay. But yeah, if anything comes back down again, I mean, again, if we have one of these, that's what we're looking for. And we'll put profit target down here. I'll change that to green as far as the profit target goes. 109.82. All right. So it looks like Bitcoins are over 40, but all red. Doji's red. Natural gas is up yet again. Natural gas is at 415. Jesus. TLT is down again. Let's go to oil. So there's our oil. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. It should technically be an up day. Oil should be an up day, but look at this. So if you follow our pattern, there was our low when we ended high, right? And then what did we do? We retraced it all the way back down again. But now it's driving back up again, right? We're coming right back up to where it opened. So, yeah, I mean, this has been somewhat predictable. I would say it should be higher. I mean, more people driving, but it's so funny. So, talking to Todd today, right? No, I haven't done that one yet, Corey. I'm going to do the 3 futures contracts, and then we're going to go to the indices. We were talking today. I was like, yeah, 983 people. He's like, yeah. He's like, but how many of those people are going to stay home? I'm like, it doesn't matter how many people are going to work from home. If you're hiring 983 people, if any of them are getting hired back, they are going to have to go to some jobs, right? Some of those people that got hired back are probably service workers that will be going back to a job, Todd. They will be driving, right? We did not hire back 983,000 remote workers, right? I'm like, it is a demand story, right? A million people getting hired back. I guarantee they're not 100. It's not a million remote workers, right? Um, but yeah, so I would say right now with oil, look for it to come back, and it's probably going to stabilize in this range. I doubt we break lows of 68.50 today. We should, and again, it should be on a fundamental basis with all those people hired back. It should be pushing higher. I don't know if we'll get out of it. And again, we've kind of had that. And I would say this was really kind of like a little situation. This is a small move in the European session time frame. So, I mean, we have what, 3 hours to go on this one, 4 hours to go on this one. I don't think there's a trade set up for today for oil. Excuse me. I don't think there's much left in oil to trade, unfortunately. Gold. So gold is back into that bottom level. And again, it's stuck in a big time frame. Question is, and this is why this is an interesting thing. Right now, the consumer sentiment right now for gold is 84% of people are net long. Okay. Yes, we are watching gold drop. It was a decent drop, but we're down in there in the 1765 range now. I mean, it can move 35 to go back up to the 1800. I do believe that I do think there's a buying opportunity here. Are we going to get it today? I don't know. Again, this orange zone was a higher time frame. It was a 4 hour zone that we're kind of slicing and chopping through, but you're starting to see it really slow down. And I expected it to go lower at the open. Again, remember the open is when the retail trader steps in. Seeing gold down by 2, everybody's taking this one short. Will it continue to drop at this rate today? I don't think so. I think there's a long opportunity in here. And I am in the camp that we do need to find good long opportunities, particularly on pullbacks. I think this is a decent pullback. I mean, when you saw it last week, we maintained all the way in here, right? We maintained around 1800 and went right below 1800. That's sitting right here where my cursor is. I do think we find some buyers, and once I do think we get back up into the 1800s next week. So whether we stabilize today, I do think we come back up. Finding a good long is going to be the interesting piece. And again, we're seeing a bit of basing. We'll see. I mean, it's green right now. All right, we'll get a new candle in 9 minutes. This is a 30-minute chart. We'll see if we can get this one to kind of move. But I do think fine longs in gold. Silver again. Silver's just going to be a magnified version of gold right now. We had a level down here at 24.31, and you can see that's where it kind of came down and is starting to have some issues. And we're putting a green in. Remember, there will be profit takers in the futures market from this one. 25 down. This was a pretty decent move. That was a big move for silver. And again, it's going to be magnified. It's not quite double today, but it's there. Does it stabilize here? Let me see. Probably. Actually, it's a little bit lower. There's another small one right here. It's a wick over wick there, but let me see. Hold on. A bit of a gap in there. We'll just mark this one. So there you go. So looks like two small areas. We got one here, and then we got another one sitting right below. Right there. Right at 24.05. And again, dropping $1 in a day, kind of a big move, but 86 cents is big. But kind of the same scenario. I look at this one turning and rolling back up again. I would not hold it over the weekend, but again, if we can match this one on the 8th and over in this area, if we can open down in this 24 range, I think this one goes back up. All right, let's jump across to the indices. We'll drop down to 15-minute charts and check these bad boys out. All right, look at this stabilization there. So that hit was done. That hit was there. There's your stabilization. There's your 845 candle. Turn that to yellow. There's your base. There's your 845. Yeah, see your initials. So this is the trap that I mentioned in the Nadex. Right, here's your 930 candle. Went up red. All right, went up green. Why? Because all the retail traders are like, oh my God, the non-farm payable data is awesome. Woo! And then immediately got stopped out back to the downside. I would say that this is probably a decent level of stabilization. Is there any headlines at this point? I don't think we found any additional headlines. No, we're talking about best robo markets, consumer credit. What is he going to say? Who is he speaking to? Release time comes as a surprise from source. Event has been added. He's due to hold a press conference about July jobs report. You know what's kind of funny about this? So the president is going to do a unreleased kind of spur of the moment talk about the jobs report we got this morning, and it's only considered a yellow. Right? Right? That's kind of funny. President Biden is speaking at 10:30, and it's only yellow. And he's going to talk about jobs and unemployment. So, yeah. Right? Does anybody else find that very interesting? Like, if President Trump was doing a surprise talk, what color do you think this would have been? I feel like it would have been a darker color than yellow, especially if he was talking about a report. So, only speeches that might have direct impact on the market are listed on the calendar. And it's listed, but yeah. So, if you're looking for, needs to pat himself on the back, probably, right? I don't think, does it, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of the same thing. Has anything he done really changed the direction that the Fed has gone in? No. He doesn't have control over the Fed. The Fed has kind of done their thing. The Fed's course has been set in for the last year. I love this how people try to like 6 months in, they're like, yeah, I take all the credit for this. No, that was the year of planning beforehand. When you came here, the conditions were already met. You haven't done anything, right? But yeah, that's probably what it is. It'd be black if Trump was speaking. Red is the highest color, Debbie. All it says is what the impact is. It doesn't say if it's good or bad. It's just saying what the impact is. But there's only 3, Debbie. Debbie's like one of those people. It's like, okay, You know, there is an A, a B, and a C. Those are your only options. And Debbie says D, right? Um, they all have big egos. They do have big egos. Yeah, I mean, and they'll take any advantage they can get. Look at this, guys. What we're doing is working, but it's not your plan. It was somebody else's plan. And again, it's kind of the same thing. Obama, like 6 months in, it's like, yup, look how much I've raised the market. It's like you took over when it was at the bottom, but like you didn't put anything in at the bottom. The plan was already put in, and that's what turned the bottom. Like, yeah, it's like driving a boat, guys. You turn the wheel and then it starts to move. It's not like a car where it's instantaneous. It's a boat. You create the condition, you turn the wheel, and then it lags behind, right? People are like, no, no, it moved because we did that. No. We'll see. But there's your catalyst. So let's go back. So I think that's probably why this is choppy. It's kind of like Biden speaking, it dropped right back down again. I would say overall, though, there's no reason why this doesn't maintain green today. I think this would be great if we can get all the way up to the 44.50. I think it's justified to go there. There's no reason why it wouldn't be. So, you know, like I said, everything we've talked about, remember, the one contagion right now with this is, again, rising interest rates. The Fed has talked about how, again, they're not, you know, and here's the thing. I don't know. All the numbers look great, right? Do you think, it would Biden say, yeah, we're going to replace Powell because he's doing a bad job? Like, could you say he's doing a bad job right now? I mean, look how it's coming back again, right? We're hiring millions of people. People are getting paid more. All these things are great. Could he justify replacing Powell by saying, oh, he's not doing a good enough job? Not really. So it's kind of one of those, which means we're going to keep the same record that we are, that we're going to maintain the same path that we're doing right now. Um, So yeah, this should continue to push higher. So I mean, there's not much to say. So we'll see what he says, but I got to say, I mean, 44.50 is well within reach today. I mean, we're 20 points away. We can definitely jump 20 points, especially if he says that we're going to continue the rate we're going and everything looks amazing and we're getting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless he basically says this jobs report is good, but we're going to close the economy down, I don't see how this goes down. Everything justifies going higher. Again, it is Friday, so it's going to be a little bit funky, but you know, um, reveal. Yeah, yeah, probably Ernest, right? Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it's coming up. I think that one's good. NQ, I was obviously at the most risk. And you guys maybe wonder, wait, why is this NQ down? Because again, when people are going back, NQ benefited from and again, this is just a crap chop area, but I do like that one short again over here. Again, this area is doing its same basing thing in there. Um, punch this here. I'm actually going to throw another short position over here as well. Great. Um, Remember, we go back to normal. That hurts NQ a bit. Again, we still have there's still supply issues. So again, Nasdaq companies don't have as much services. Tech services companies are doing fine. But remember, as people start to go back, this is considered kind of more negative for NQ. And again, it's the weakest of all of them. So again, if he says anything that is overly weak, again, that could help send this down. Or if it's more positive, but everybody's going back and do this. I mean, this is the big outliner for the day. It's this and YM is up. What looks like YM is actually up the most, but NQ being down, not surprised. I told Todd that this morning. We came back up. I was hoping we get to that 15,200 yesterday, but again, you see it stabilized, and now we're pushing. By the way this chart looks, again, if we look at this purely on a technical basis, I mean, there's the trend that you got to be watching out for. Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, big spike down. It had its opportunity at 9:30 at the open. All it did was come back up, and again, it grabbed levels. Right, it grabbed that levels of sellers right there and started the push to the downside. So now we're fighting the buyers, but again, one level, two touch, or, one touch, two touches, three touches. This is technically hit number 4. You guys know how to play this. If we come and we base through this level, right? Basing means that again, it has not found the sellers anymore. If we have a break, again, if we base a break of that 15,067 could lead us down into that 15,020 range for a short later on today. And again, kind of is justifying on a purely technical basis. Again, Biden is obviously throwing a cake in that one because God knows what he's going to say. We'll see if he's ad-libbing it or reading off the teleprompter today. I don't know. We'll have to, like I said, I'll have to jump on and listen to that one afterwards. YM. So why it punched higher? We made the attempt. You know, we talked about a level we had sitting here, and again, there'd be some traps. It had the almost the exact same setup, right, as the ES. 930 candle came in. It's the first of the green. It spiked up because everybody wanted a piece of this because the numbers were so good. When everybody gets in, the mark does exactly this. It drops back down again to take all those people's money that got in, and they were like, "Wait, I don't understand. Why is it doing this?" And now nobody has any idea what's going on because it's just basing exactly where we were. Is there an entry in here? Again, we're sitting in a level. We knew there was a level there, but at the same time, there was the level formation. We knew that we really had kind of one, two, three, and then four is what breached it. We knew that it was not going to hold again from that level. Again, that's why it's clear. And again, it didn't. It ended up punching through and then pulling back. Is it ideal for kind of that Harry Potter trade? On a 5 minute, you could look at this and say, hey, wait, it came up, right? It did push up, right? It did push up, and then it came back again and hit that level, and now it looks like it wants to go higher. Yeah, you could take it for a long. And I said, I mean, God knows what Biden's going to say, but you know, you could take this for a long position here and then play kind of a mini Harry Potter off of this one to the top side. Oops, I was like, wait, why is it not moving? It's this one that I need to move. And it would be 1 to 3 is sitting right there, so not even up to our target of 35,200. Um, Overall, I would say it's probably decent. It should go higher. I'd be more willing to trade this in Nadex than I would be with a futures contract because, like I said, Biden could definitely mess this one up, right? But I think it has every power to go up and higher, and I think 35,200 is well in the radar today. It's well within reach, and again, again. This is a 5 minute chart now. I think it has the legs to go. Russell also having some issues, and again, I think this kind of ran back into the same. You know, you look at this candle here. This is your 8:30 candle, drove us up. 9 o'clock, and then all of a sudden 9:30 happened. And here, I'll drop it down to a 15 minute, get a little bit better of an idea. Here's this candle right here. This one, the spike. That was your opening print. So had you taken this with Nadex, again with a binary, you would have been fine, right? Had you taken it in a futures contract, that was a little bit risky, right? It'd actually be there, right? And your 1 to 3 is sitting right there. And again, going back to a level of basing. So, you know, you'd be up 2 to 1 in this one right now. Let's see, how many points are you off? You're what, 10 points up? 10 points in out of the 30. So, not necessarily a bad trade, but again, a lot of volatility in this one. Again, Biden will probably have some control over this one. I would say right now, with the way it's hiring back again, I'll tell you what. So here's why you may look at this and say, "Well, Brian, I understand, right? It's all good. Russell moves first. Here is why the Russell tanked. Right here. This is why the Russell tanked. Okay, to hire employees, you need to spend more money to get them right now. Increased spending hurts small companies the most. Okay. If you look at the Russell and what makes up the Russell, it is the small guys. So the more average hourly earnings increase, the more it hurts Russell based companies. Okay. Now, again, they're not the mom and pop places, right? Obviously, the mom and pop places are even more of at risk. But again, something like you know, the big guys, right? They're not infected. They're not, they just pass that along to the consumer. But smaller, especially services companies, they are affected by a bit more. This one is up what point? I mean, technically, it's still green because it's up 4 points, but I would say this one is kind of set up more for a negative, like the NQ is, and again, it's because of those average earnings. So there's not really a trade we can take right now. It's kind of more in its path. All right, Biden's missing for 5 minutes. Let's see. Has he said anything yet? Yeah, IVPMI. What did that do to gold? Let me check gold real quick. Um, yeah, it's helping with gold a little bit. Again, seeing that non PMI gold is that that is in a that is helping gold be more negative. We'll see what we can do with this push. But that PMI number definitely helps gold. I don't see anything from him yet. I was trying to see how long it was going to take for him. Is he actually? Let me see. Does anybody notification? Is Biden speaking right now? Did they put a link out there? No, it says this is what we got right now. So he's not officially speaking yet. right? We're gonna begin shortly. It says 10:30 a.m., but it's 10:36. So yeah. So he's not speaking yet. I watch out for that one because, like I said, that could really kind of start jacking that one around. Yeah, we'll see where this is. Check one more thing real quick. No, he's yeah. I just checked it. Sorry, I forgot there's a delay there. Um, mm, mm, mm. No, not there. Trying to see. No. Let me see over here. Let's see how this one is moved. That one's stabilized a bit more. Yeah, I'm looking right now, kind of like at the updated prices of it. I'm trying to see kind of like on lower time frames if they've had stabilization. His cocktail hasn't kicked in. Yeah, I'm not seeing it right now. So look, it looks like everything is kind of somewhat stabilizing right now. And again, I think what they're doing is everybody's starting to wait for Biden to speak and see what he has to say. If it's just kind of like, I told you what we had is working. Yeah, that's a little bit red. Let me see what else we got over here. What do we got on this one? Yeah, everything's starting to stabilize. Yeah. So what happened is everything is kind of waiting at this point. It's kind of a wait and see. The fact that it still doesn't show up in here is crazy. I love the fact that it shows up and it's as a yellow. He's talking today, but yeah, but he's not talking yet. So maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a just kidding. Maybe I don't know. No, he's not doing anything yet. All right, so guys, 10:38. I'm gonna let you guys go. Like I said, that's the biggest contagion right now that we need to worry about. And again, I'd say NQ is again, if we get a bit of a drop, if he says something monumental, then yes, it will continue to drop. Russell's already inside of that short to the downside. Again, your profit is locked in. YM is kind of holding and stabilizing. Um, and again, it'd be more of a, you know, it is kind of more set on a Harry Potter. And again, right now you'd be a bit positive on that one. And then even ES is trying to make an attempt to come back again. And again, for ES, let's see, how much more do we need to go? 21. Um, yeah, I mean, daily ATR is 40. We need to do half that. We need to do half of a daily ATR to be able to break that 44.50. So yeah, yeah, I'm looking for this. Oops. I'm looking for a 44.50 NQ. I'm looking for this one. Look how spiky this is on a 30-minute. It's hysterical. Yeah, I'm looking for that to come down in base. YM again, looking for this one to come. Let's see, can we hit that top? Let's see. Looks like 117. Yeah, it's a third, right? The daily ATR on the YM is 355, so we need a third to the top, right? So let's talk about there. And this one I'd like it complete, but at this point you're trailing your stop. Yeah, you have something locked in on this one. Look at this lower highs. See, unless Biden completely nukes this one, lower. Yeah. Um. Yeah, Ernest, that's the problem. Is it's Friday. Yep, that's the problem. So, all right. With that said, let's go ahead and do the giveaway. So remember, it is a 50 pip chip Friday, right? Because yesterday we did not do it. Silent won yesterday. Actually, Silent's on 2 in a row. So Silent is actually going for 250 today. Everybody else will be going for 50, and we'll see how it rolls out. I know, Ernest. It's the same thing. It's like Russia invades other countries on Saturdays only, right? Because you don't want to mess. Putin doesn't want to mess up his stock purchases, right? His investments. All right. So here we go. Let's close it down. Let's see who the winner of today's drawing is on 50 Pip Chip Friday. And the winner is Debbie. Look at that. Debbie, that's twice this week, right? I feel like that's twice this week. Let's go ahead. Give Debbie hers. There we go. There we go. All right. Wholesale inventory is down. Oh, it's up a little bit. Yeah. Activate the fembots. I know, right? Look at that. Debbie is just, I feel like Debbie won twice. Now, see, look, these 24-hour pip changes are much, much better, right? Dollar showing some strength in here. Let's see. Actually, you know what? Before we leave, let's check dollar index one more time. Yeah, dollar index it made a push into that zone, but now we're starting to have a little bit of problems. So, um, could Biden nuke the dollar? Yes. Yes, he could. Let's see what it does here. Yeah, watch the dollar index. That'll actually do a lot of these things flipping around. So, all right, with that said, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go get the girl. I think Melissa's on the call in a little bit, so I'm gonna go rescue her and grab the girl. And I will catch you guys. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you guys for joining me today, and we'll be back on Monday morning. And then don't forget we have that summit on Tuesday, so our time on Tuesday is going to be a little bit different. All right, you guys take care. I'll catch you guys later.